Hey everyone, Chris Engelbert here with Engelbert Financial Advisors in beautiful Allentown, Pennsylvania on Friday, July 17th, 2020. I wanted to give you an update here on three things that we think investors are concerned about right now. Number one, obviously the big fear is the resurgence of COVID and the shutdown again of the U.S. economy. We saw last week on Friday, California announced that they were doing some partial shutdowns. This week, we had in Pennsylvania, Governor Wolf announced some partial shutdowns again. However, we think that actually things are going the opposite way. One of the things we spend a lot of time doing is talking with other money managers, either that we're going to hire for our clients or that we want to get some insight on. And I spoke with a very good biotech manager last week who had a very positive spin on the whole COVID situation. And he made the comment to me that there's not going to be one or two vaccines available. There's going to be 8 or 9 available by this fall. And in fact, this week, one particular day, the stock market popped very aggressively because a company announced that they had very positive trials on their vaccine. So the message on the COVID side is actually getting better than what most people realize. And some of the people that are in the know that we talk to have expressed very positive opinion as well. The second thing that people are really concerned about is these urban demonstrations and whether or not they're going to spill over to the suburbs or obviously the rural areas. And like everything else, they seem to have run their course. They've quieted down for the time being. We haven't seen any additional demonstrations taking place. And so we don't really think that that's a big factor until we get to the third point, which a lot of people are also worried about the outcome of the elections this year. Now, one of the things that we wanted to talk to you about was that we have elections every 4 years. And we think that this is no different. One of the things that we think is happening right now is that there's extreme polarization. If you vote for one candidate, it means the stock market's going to go down 50%. If you vote for another candidate, it means there's going to be huge civil unrest. What we think is going to happen is that when you have such extreme viewpoints on either end of things, that once the election passes, that's going to be back to business as usual. And we saw that happen in 2016 as well. However, investors are obviously concerned about all the three things that I've mentioned. But one of the things that we wanted to point out is that the stock market climbs a wall of worry. And we've seen the NASDAQ make new highs so far for this year. The S&P 500 has had a very good week, and even European stocks are doing much better. One of the other theses that we've talked about that seems to be coming to fruition is the movement from large cap growth to large cap value. Last week, July 10th, we stated that we thought that this change was going to happen. And this week, we saw some of the major banks report earnings that were much, much better than what people realized. And there was a couple of days this week that the large cap growth stocks started to pull back and didn't do as well. So we wanted to have people remind themselves that you got to be very careful getting way overweighted in one particular asset class, i.e. large cap growth. The other thing we wanted to mention, and this goes back to our comment about elections, is that we are beginning to see different markets get very, very quiet. If you look at a chart of the U.S. oil market, if you look at the chart of Bitcoin, if you look at the chart of U.S. interest rates, they've all basically flatlined for the last couple of months. The U.S. stock market hasn't flatlined yet, but we believe that we could have a very quiet rest of the summer as investors wrestle with the pros and cons of all the three things I've previously mentioned. So we are much more positive. Our risk indicators are mixed right now. But we do believe that once everybody gets over these three big fears, that you'll see a much more positive economic and social environment ahead. So that's all I've got for Facebook today, July 17th. We hope you have a great weekend. It's going to be a hot one out there, and we'll talk to you soon.